There's a certain kind of strength that doesn't shout, doesn't rage against the world, but quietly, unshakably, masters the one thing it actually has control over: itself. What if I told you the most significant battle you'll ever face isn't with external circumstances, but with the person staring back at you in the mirror? Because for centuries, the path to unshakable character has been paved by those who looked inward, not outward. We're going to explore that path today. It's a framework for resilience, not just for surviving, but for thriving in a world designed to pull you in 1,000 directions. This isn't about outdated philosophy. It's about a practical operating system for modern life. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The first principle is about actively seeking the friction points. We instinctively avoid difficulty, smoothing our paths, removing obstacles. But true growth lives on the other side of the friction. Think about something you've been putting off because it feels too heavy, too complex, too uncomfortable. That's not a signal to run from it. It's a signal to run toward it. What if that very thing is the key you've been searching for? The forge shapes the blade, and challenge forges the human spirit. Don't wait for difficulty to find you. Go and meet it halfway. Second, we must recognize that we are the sum of what we absorb. The voices you let into your head, the people you break bread with, the media you consume, it all forms the architecture of your inner world. You can't choose your family, but you can choose your mentors, your close friends, the voices you give your attention to. Are you surrounding yourself with architects who build you up, or demolition experts who tear you down? If you're feeling stagnant, take a hard look at your inner circle. A rising tide lifts all boats, but a sinking one drags everything down with it. Choose the tide. Third, a fundamental shift in perspective. The event is not the master. Your reaction is. Life is not what happens to you. Life is what you do with what happens to you. A setback, a criticism, a loss, these are raw materials. Your response is the hand that shapes them into something meaningful or lets them crumble into dust. When something triggers you this week, pause. Before you react, ask yourself, is this happening to me or is it happening for me? That single question changes everything. It returns the agency to you. Fourth, master the art of the deliberate yes. In a culture that glorifies busyness, a yes is often just a lazy default. But every time you say yes to a distraction, you're saying no to your own priorities. What you allow is what will continue. The art is in the refusal. What are you saying yes to today that is actively stealing time from your most meaningful goals? Your life is the sum of your commitments. Protect them as fiercely as a castle protects its gates. Fifth, become the undisputed ruler of your own domain. Your impulses, your desires, your emotions. This isn't about coldness, it's about self-command. It's the ability to look at a tempting but ultimately destructive choice and say, no, I have a longer game to play. Discipline isn't a punishment, it's a liberation. It frees you from being a slave to every fleeting whim. It gives you the freedom to choose your future rather than being a prisoner of your past impulses. Sixth, recognize that time is the only non-renewable resource. Money returns, opportunities return, but time, once spent, is gone forever. Are you guarding your minutes with the same vigilance you guard your bank account? The Stoic understood that the most expensive thing you can buy is a moment of your life, and you're paying for everything with it. What are you spending your precious currency on? Is it an investment in your future self, or just a tax on your present moment? Seventh, don't shy away from the heavy lift. We often want the result without the rigor. But mental fortitude, like a muscle, is built through resistance. This means choosing the cold shower, the difficult conversation, the complex problem to solve. It's about making your mind so strong that it dictates terms to your body, not the other way around. The obstacle is the way. The struggle is the path. Eighth, expand your definition of success to include the elevation of others. A life lived only for oneself is a narrow, brittle existence. True strength is generative. When you mentor, when you lift, when you inspire, you don't lose power, you multiply it. Think about someone you could help today, not with a lecture, but with a quiet act of encouragement. By making them better, you weave yourself into a tapestry far larger and more resilient than your own life. Ninth, cultivate a practice of looking at what you do have rather than lamenting what you don't. In a society built on comparison and lack, gratitude is a revolutionary act. It's not about ignoring hardship. It's about refusing to let hardship erase the value of what remains. He who is not content with what he has would not be content with what he wishes to have. This practice builds an unassailable fortress of contentment inside you. 10th, commit to being a lifelong learner. The moment you think you've arrived, you've begun to atrophy. The world is changing at a dizzying pace, and adaptability is the ultimate survival skill. Are you reading, exploring, seeking new skills, or are you relying on outdated maps to navigate a new landscape? The most dangerous knowledge is the belief that you have nothing left to learn. 11th, reframe vulnerability not as a weakness, but as a profound courage. To show up, to be seen, to admit you don't have all the answers, this takes more strength than hiding behind a facade of perfection. Authenticity is the foundation of genuine connection. What are you hiding from the world that, if revealed, would actually make you stronger? 12th, stop seeing adversity as an interruption to your life and start seeing it as life itself. It's not a detour, it's the main road. Every obstacle is a teacher, every setback a lesson plan. Resilience is not about bouncing back to where you were, it's about using the pressure to evolve into something new. 13th, build in a daily practice of looking back. Reflection is the mirror that shows us who we are becoming. Without it, we drift. 5 minutes at the end of the day to review your actions, your words, your choices. This is how you course correct. It's the anchor that keeps you from being swept away by the current of reactivity. Are you steering the ship or just going wherever the waves take you? 14th, understand that the story you tell yourself is the one you will live. If your internal narrative is one of victimhood and limitation, your reality will reflect that. Your mindset is the lens through which you see the world. Train it to look for opportunity, for lessons, for the path forward. What if you saw every crack in your life not as a flaw, but as a place where the light gets in? Finally, live in accordance with your deepest principles. A tree with deep roots can weather any storm. When your daily actions are aligned with your core values, you become unshakable. You gain integrity, the quality of being whole and undivided. When you are whole, the chaos of the world cannot tear you apart. So there it is, a blueprint not for perfection, but for progress. For becoming the kind of person who doesn't just endure life, but actively shapes it. Remember that quiet strength we started with? It's built piece by piece, decision by decision, starting right now. If this resonated and you're ready to build that strength, I'd be honored if you join our community here at Winds of Thought. Hit that like button to let me know you're on the path, and subscribe to continue the journey. Your engagement is what keeps these ideas flowing.